Good evening. Thank you for joining and tuning in. And as I was trying to say on the previous session, this week I was looking for a lot of different ways to share on Instagram because my wife started an online business and she needed to use Instagram to communicate a lot of the dresses and the shoes and all the different things. And I was helping her and trying to explain her all the different formats and when you use one and when you use the other one. And I decided that because I did all the work of doing all the research, I said, well, why not share it with my friends? And in that way, you can also benefit from it. So the whole reason for this session is so you will learn all the different sizes for the Instagram content that you can build for your business or for the people that follow you. So let me switch real quick here to my presentation. And you should be seeing my screen right now. And after going through this, there's a lot of different ones. And the first one and most common one is the landscape. And that is a normal image is 1200 by 628. And this is used in a lot of promotions. You can see them. They look like the landscape is very similar to Facebook. And it has a maximum size of 30 megabytes. So one of the things that I was finding a problem is that when I was building a lot of the stuff for her, she didn't know the technical features. So she was creating images very big. So one of the interesting things is that your caption for all the images that include hashtag and everything, you have a maximum length of 2200 characters. So that means that if you have a lot of hashtags, you will run out of space. And I'm going to do another session later on specifically on hashtags. But you want to make sure that if you're going to do a landscape image, you stay within the 1200 by 628. So you're going to have access to this so you can see it. The second one is the square one. And the square one is what is called a one-to-one. That is a perfectly symmetrical square. So you cannot go larger than 1080 by 1080. And it's very important to know this because sometimes you can create a square image somewhere else and it can be smaller or it can be larger. So you want a 1080 by 1080 or some of the programs let you do a one-to-one. Hello Gina, hello Diesel. Then another one of the Instagram images that you have is a longer post or what is called a vertical. Very similar to the stories. I'm gonna discuss the stories a little bit later, but this one is a little bit smaller. This one is a 1080 by 1350. This is a little bit longer, so when you take your phone, you can actually look at it and be there within your feed. And that's what is called a 4 by 5 image. So again, depend on what you're communicating, depend on the amount of content, you may want to use one versus the other one. An example, I sometimes use the square one. I actually just created 10 images on specifically this same content and I did them all square, but I could do them larger. Then let's go now into videos, because the other thing that you can share on your timeline or in Instagram are videos. And videos have different options also. So you can have like a traditional widescreen video. And that video, the interesting thing is that even though it's gonna be very, very small, you only have 60 seconds, it can be very high quality because on a minute you can actually deliver very high quality. You have a maximum size of 4 gigabytes for that. And then you can have in videos, you can have different amount of information coming in. Could be slower, could be faster. So the maximum is 30 frames per second. And that means regular TV. So like sports, very fast things on this format will not work. You need to move it down to 30 frames per second. If you're gonna do again, you can have the widescreen, you can also have the square one or one-to-one. That video also will be the same resolution, same size, but this have a different format. And again, when you're watching on your phone, a lot of people are starting to watch without sound. So we're gonna be creating a video on how to do the recording of yourself so it can automatically appear on the video. Then you have, again, a vertical. You have an option to do 600 by 750. And all these are, even though it's a little bit of a technical information, is good to know, because when you're creating the content, you can decide how you want to create it so it will look good. An example, if you create a larger image, like for a story, but you post it on your regular timeline, on your regular feed as a post, it actually gonna cut half of it because it's too big. But if you actually create an image that is for your post and you put it on your story, then it's gonna be too short and you're gonna have a lot of white space on the side. So you need to know which one you want to use, and there's different apps that you can use to create this. Then stories. Everybody's talking about stories. Everybody's talking about how to do them. Stories are just widescreen images flipped over. So that's a resolution of 1080 by 1620. And again, you can have very high resolution images up to 30 megabytes. Then the videos are cool because you can have the same resolution. And when you do is that when you're doing your video, you can actually cut part of your video so it can be uploaded as that format. And the stories, you can upload the video from your computer or from your phone. One of the things that we found out this week is that you need to have a minimum resolution of 720. So it needs to be a high definition video to go on the stories. On your post is different. On your post, it doesn't need to be high resolution, but on the stories, it needs to be high resolution. Then, carousel images. These are really cool. You actually can post from 2 to 10. You cannot put more than 10 images on one carousel. You can create another carousel so you can actually have additional 10 images, and in that way you can create like sequence or story that you're telling. But these images are square. So like we discussed already, the square image is 1080 by 1080, and you can have up to 10 of these, one after the other one. Then last but not least is that you can do a carousel video. So the same way that you can do the carousel images, you can have videos that go one after the other one or integrated with the images, so you can have those, and those videos can be a maximum of 60 seconds. So my friends, this has been just a quick tour in how to create different content for Instagram, for your images on the story, for images on your posts, for videos. So at a different day, we're gonna show you how to use different apps, and an app that you use all the time that you probably were not aware that you can use it to build all your content. So if you have any questions, just leave me a comment and I will look for that. So have an awesome day.